To make our society function, you need to collect revenue. And there's some distinctive aspects of our economy that need to be addressed when you think about how you're going to raise revenue.
Nobel laureate and Columbia economics professor Joseph Stiglitz on Bloomberg TV saying society requires revenue, and the way government gets revenue is through taxes.
I just like hearing you say that. Taxes.
Well, you know, as a Ways and Means guy,
you're
cut
see
taxes,
that you cringe when you say that.
Well, when I was there, we lowered taxes. I could go on and on, but I know we have a guest. Anyway.
I know. However, not everyone is taxed the same, as we all know. The amount you make and where you live can both play into how much your tax burden will be.
As a matter of fact, our friends over at Wallethub ranked each state based on the best and worst places to live for both the rich and the poor. And with April 15th just a few weeks away, we thought it'd be a good idea to discuss this topic with Wallethub's Jill Gonzalez. And there is Jill, Skyping in from Wallethub headquarters in Washington, D.C. Now, Jill, I have to imagine that there's more at work here than just state income taxes. What factors went into your ratings?
Yes, JD, we looked at numerous taxes, so that's not only income taxes, but your property taxes as well, and sales and excise taxes. All of those went into the report.
So let's say you're not making a whole lot of money. Where would be the best place to be?
The best place for you would be Alaska, actually, and that's around the board, middle income or high income earners. Your total taxes will actually be less there and take up less of your total income.
Okay.
Well, the question becomes, and we see the graphic here, Alaska #1 in both categories. Why is that?
Well, we saw the tax rates there are just a lot lower across the board. And again, that's every tax that we looked at. Percentage-wise, less of your total income will be going to pay those taxes every year, actually around the 3% mark, whether you're a low-income earner or a high-income earner.
So where are the worst states to be if you're wealthy?
If you're wealthy, the worst states actually, starting from, we'll do maybe the bottom 5. So then it's Minnesota, then New Jersey, Maryland, Connecticut, and New York ranked 51st because we did include Washington, D.C. in the study as well.
Okay.
Now, and that's for the people who are well off. Those are the tough states because of the tax. Well, I know you got a lot figured in, but those are states that ask for a lot of taxes from their citizenry.
That's right. So that's for the top 1% of earners, families bringing in over $150,000 a year. And we saw that these states are actually some of the most progressive tax systems in the country. So that means they are a little bit more fair. Of course, your definition of fair might be different if you're a low-income earner or a high-income earner.
So if you're not doing so well, what are the worst states to be if you're poor?
So we'll go at the opposite end of the spectrum. We'll start with Ohio, then Arizona, Illinois, Hawaii, and the state of Washington. And we saw that those also have the most regressive tax systems and really rely heavily on sales taxes. They would make up a half to 2/3 of their state revenue.
Now, see, that's surprising when I hear Washington State, because given the, quote, progressive nature of the politics there, and the fact that Seattle, just set up a stratospheric minimum wage, you would think it would just be a paradise. Besides all those Washington State apples that people could eat. But it's not that way, huh? Last 30 seconds to you, Jill.
Yeah, and we've heard that from a lot of people. That's been the general consensus around the board. But believe it or not, the bottom 20% of earners in Washington, they're paying about 20% of their total income right to taxes. And the top 1% is only paying less than 3%. So there really is a huge, huge gap there.
Well, it's good to know, and we should note for the record, that is Washington State, not Washington, D.C., right. Although D.C. was included in those ratings from our friends at Wallethub. And to Jill Gonzalez, as always, we appreciate the way you are able to take us inside those numbers and those rankings from Wallethub. Well,
you going to move to Alaska now?
I'll consider. Well, I'd like to keep this gig, quite frankly.
Okay.
And to do that, we're going to move out for just a second and come back with Comedy Corner.